Hello everybody. In today's video I'm going to quickly go over the initial setup of the or a distributed deployment of the checkpoint R77.30. As you can see here, ignore the rest of the topology. This is just what I call a progressive lab where I'm building a lot of different stuff. However, for today we're going to focus down here. Now, from the external interface of the gateway, IOU5 and the internet appliance provided by GNS3 has all been configured already. The IP addresses for the distributed deployment and the internal network has also been configured. However, we don't have connectivity out to the actual internet at the moment until we've configured and pushed policy to the gateway. So that's what we're going to do today. So just to actually test that, we're going to jump onto the Windows 7 lab machine, and what we can see, if we do a ping, it's not going to be successful, and that's because we have a gateway sat in the front, and without any rules in place it just default drops everything. So what we need to do is we need to access Smart Dashboard. Once you have that installed, and you don't access the gateway from Smart Dashboard, you access the manager. So in my case, my manager, which is sat here, is 192.168.50.1. The gateway's internal interface is 192.168.1.254. okay, so we're just going to go back now and I'll log in. Now, for those that are actually studying for the CCSA and have maybe got the books but haven't yet gone through them, there's 4 default policies that you need to create. So as well as best practice, so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to create these policies as well. So as you can see, we don't have any policies installed as of yet, so you need to, we're using the standard policy, which will do for now. So what we need to do is we need to go policy, and we need to where are we? Policy package installation targets. So what we're going to do here is, you can see the policy package here we're using is standard as I specified already, and we need to add the specific gateway here for this policy package. But before we do that, we need to actually add the gateway and initialize SIG communication. So to do that, as you can see, we have the management here sat there already, so we need to add a gateway by doing that. I don't recommend using Wizard. I've been taught to use the classic mode, so that's what I go with. Now I'm going to call mine CKP-gateway, and my IP address is 192.168.50.254. okay, and we're going to click on SIG, and we need to enter the one-time password, which you should have set up as you configured first time settings on the actual security gateway. So we're just going to press initialize now, and hopefully that's successful. There we go, we can see the trust has been established now, which is good. So, and there you can see it's now picked up the topology information. Okay, there's one thing we're going to need to do before, and that's click on topology, and we need to actually specify these interfaces. Now both of them are showing as internal because on the external interface we also have a router in front of that, and that's just purely because of the connection required in order to be able to get internet connectivity using GNS3. Okay, so for the purpose of this, we're going to change ETH1 to external, and we do that by clicking on that, and we need to do external there, and that's it. So now we can see it's an external interface, which is cool. So we click OK on that, and we can see now that the checkpoint gateway has now been added. So going back to policy package installation targets, and we're going to click on the checkpoint gateway, and that's for the standard policy package. So that's cool. So now that's done, we're going to click on rules and we're going to add a rule. As you can see, there is shortcut keys to do this as well. So we're going to start off by adding the first of the four rules, which is going to be the management. So this is access to the management system. So I'm going to call this management. And what we need to do is, for the purpose of this, we're going to create a network, and our network's going to be called internal. Okay, and our network in this case is 192.168.50.0 with a /24 net mask. So once we've got that network, we're going to add internal as the source, and you do that simply by just dragging it up, and the destination is going to the checkpoint management. We need to accept the traffic, and the services that we're going to add are 443 for HTTPS. We're also going to add checkpoint management interface. We're also going to add SSH. We'll just click. For the purpose of this, we'll put in version 2 as well. Okay. So HTTPS, checkpoint management interface, SSH, and SSH version 2. We'll leave it at that for now, and we'll log that traffic. So basically, everything that hits this rule is logged. And install on policy package target, which is, we've already specified that for the policy package, and that's cool. So that's the first rule. So the next rule we'll add below that, and what we're going to do is anything going to the management we're going to block. So anything coming from any source to the management, any service is dropped, and we're going to lock that as well. So this is basically saying that anything internal can get to the checkpoint management station. In an ideal situation, you probably have that restricted to a management network. However, this is just for testing, so it doesn't matter. So we'll call this management drop. I'm going to log that as well. Okay, and that's that one, and then we're going to add another one, which we can call, in fact what we'll do is we'll call this the stealth rule, which is what I think they call it in the checkpoint book. So call that stealth, and now we'll do LAN to WAN. So any source, what we need to do, is any internal going to any destination, we're going to accept that, any service, and we're also going to log that, and that's that one done. And last but not least, anything that doesn't match any rules, as I've already said, default drops, but we want to have visibility of anything that's dropped. So this last rule is basically that default drop, but then we can actually see it drop, all the traffic that's dropped. So I'll call it default drop, and basically any source, any destination, any service, we're going to drop it, but we're going to log it, and that's pretty much it. Okay. So once you've got that, we're going to click save, and we can verify the policy before we push it out. And there we go, it says that everything's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to try push the policy now. And hopefully this should work. And there we go, we can see installation now, has been successful of that policy. I was a bit mindful then that it was going to fail, and the reason why is because I've run this lab before on a distributed deployment using virtual machines, especially VirtualBox, and the load module fails and I just can't get it working. But in this case it's worked, which is good. So what we're going to do now is we can try again and see if we can get out now to the internet. Might have to disable and re-enable the actual interface. So yeah, we will. So we'll do that now. Sometimes, as mentioned in my previous videos, you need to, using these virtual environments, you need to actually reset these machines, literally turn them off and turn them back on. But what we'll do is we'll disable it first, and then we'll re-enable it and see if it works properly. So that's also disconnected us from Smart Dashboard, obviously. So we'll go ahead and we'll re-enable that now, and we'll see what happens from here. So we have a network connection, so we'll try now. It looks like it's going to time out again. So what I'm going to do is, if this is the case, I will totally reset this lab machine here. There we go, yeah, it's timed out. So what I'll do is I'll totally reset this now, then power it back on, and hopefully it should fix the problem. For some reason this is sometimes required with these virtual environments. So we'll just go ahead and we'll power that back on now. Okay, and just let that power up. And let that load up. I do plan on doing more checkpoint orientated videos as I study for my CCSA. So you know, do look out for those if you are interested in you know, doing checkpoint. So we'll log into that and I'll maximize the screen, and hopefully we don't get a little icon next to the network. We shall see once it loads up. So we have got one, but let's see if we have internet connectivity. It's taking its time. It's taking its time, and that failed, so we'll try again. But I'll actually try ping. Let's try ping. Start off by pinging the manager. That's successful, which is good because we're connected to that. Try ping the gateway. That's successful. We'll try ping beyond the gateway, so we'll ping 50.1, so we can actually get to that as well. Sometimes it's just a case of actually building up the app table. So now let's try ping, and don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working again. So what I'm gonna do, if I can ping up to basically this interface here. Let me see if I can ping. Let's click on the router. So we'll do translations 50.2. Can't see anything else. So we'll do a do show IP interface Ethernet 01, and this interface is 230.174. So let's try ping that. Let's move that over here. Ping 172.16 230.174. And this might be our problem. So it seems to be timing out there. Okay. And we'll just double check that we can get to 50.1, which if I show you is do show IP interface Ethernet 00. 50.1 is this internal interface here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do show run, and we can see that that's configured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that IP route. You see there, the default route, and we'll see if that makes a difference. No IP route. Still doesn't seem to be working as it should. So troubleshooting is part of the process. So we'll do that while we're doing this as well. So we can see while we're there, in fact, let's have a look at we'll log back into, we'll start by going into SmartView, Smart Dashboard. And I think I might have just twigged what the issue is. So we can see there, we can see that traffic's actually hitting that rule, which is good. What we need is we're going to need let's add a rule below, and we'll do we'll call this net 192.168.51.0, and that's basically the network sat between the gateway before it goes out to the internet. So we'll just add this again, call it net 192.168.51.0, 192.168.51.0, 255.255.255.0, and we'll add this network to, where's it gone? There it is. So we'll do from the source and from destination, and we'll also do this. So we're mixing the rule. We'll log that, and we'll see if we'll get any hits on that. Save that. Install policy. And we'll see what happens from there. And while we're waiting for that, we'll open SmartView Tracker, which is where all the logs are. Some logs should have been generated already, so there we go. We can see logs starting to generate. If you press the down button, you'll see the latest logs. So you can see logs from the checkpoint management going to Google's DNS. So it's trying to resolve DNS. We can see as well 192.50.2, so that's the external interface of the gateway, and that is a broadcast by the looks of it. So let's go back and have a look at this now, and that's fine. 50.2. So we actually have an issue with, okay, so having worked out the problem we was facing, I forgot to show you this part. After we've actually configured the gateway, we need to, on the NAT settings, we need to make sure this box is ticked. So we're hiding all the internal network behind the external IP address. So all the internal network is going to be hidden behind the external. Okay, and this is what makes it work. So if we go back now and we ping, so we can actually get to Google now. We can actually, should be able to hit that interface we're having problems with before. There we go. So we can actually hit that interface as well. So we'll do a ping google.com and see if it resolves it, and there you go, it has resolved it, which is good. So if I minimize this, have a look at the NAT translations, we should be able to see, there we go, we can see NAT translations. So everything is being natted behind, like we said, the inside local, which is the external of the gateway, so 192.168.51.2, which is good. Okay, so that's being natted to that. Inside global is obviously this interface, outside local is going out, then outside global. So as we could see, that's working properly now. So we've got this Windows 7 client here, going through the gateway, hitting the rules, and going out to the World Wide Web. So we should, a matter of fact, be able to access things like this. There we go. So we can access Google, do that, and while we're doing that, we should be able to see on SmartView Tracker all these logs. If we press the very bottom, we can see HTTP traffic going from, it's natted from the gateway to the address, and it's hitting rule number 3, which is the rule name LAN to WAN. So basically anything LAN going to WAN, which is this one, it's hitting that rule. So we can refresh that as well, and we can see it's got 83 hits now. We probably don't need that one in, so we could just delete that one, and that's pretty much leaving you there with your 4 default rules, which are specified in the CCSA training manual. As I say, we'll be doing more videos surrounding Checkpoint, but that is it for now. In regards to that, if you have any more questions, please drop me a comment and I shall get back to you. But thanks for watching.